All right. Today we're going to start doing something new. I am really happy with the way a lot of the chakra materials are coming out, especially in the charts. It's really becoming very personal. It really helps you to see how the energies affect us. So I'm going to start doing a weekly chakra vision video so we can look at it and see where the planets are and how that relates to our chakras. And it will help us to learn to manage these energies. That's the way I'm going to put it. They're energies. All of these are frequencies, like energies. We have the three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. And I know a lot of you want to argue the plasma thing, but again, plasma is like electricity or thought or magnetism. It's not matter per se. It's what animates matter. It's what animates the matter. It's a different state. It's not a state of matter. Matter is a state of plasma, thought, electricity, magnetism. It's just the opposite. Everything in the physical world is a manifestation of an energy, of a frequency. An energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change from one form to another. It changes from a liquid state, which is mutable, to a solid state, which is fixed, to the cardinal state, gaseous. But it cannot be destroyed. All right, Sun in Gemini, Moon in Mercury in Taurus. We got Venus and Mars both in Cancer. This is home. This is Mama's house. This is the divine feminine. Cancer, cardinal, water, ruled by the moon. I call it Mama's house. This is about family. Cardinal water are the people that you're kin to. These are people you're kin to by blood or by law. Mars is debilitated here. This is our actions and our emotions, and they're debilitated. I've been trying to get my grass cut all week. Every time it starts raining here, we've been getting pretty much showers every day. So can't get my grass cut, and when I do, it's going to take me 2 days. It's so thick now. And here's our heart. Mars is debilitated here. Actions. But our hearts, Venus likes being here. This is home. Our hearts are with our families. They're at home. We're fixing to be celebrating the 4th of July in America, and it's very much about gathering with friends and family, celebrating patriotism and all of that. A lot of firecrackers going off around here all week. It's been driving Kelly mad. She can't stand it. None of these are inner planets, not retrograde currently. Mars, Venus, Mercury. We can kick it up a day. No retrogrades there. Mercury, of course, ruling one of the ruling bodies of this age. But Mercury rules commerce, communications, navigation, all things in the media, advertising. He's the prince of the power of the air. So the airwaves all belong to Mercury. He's in a grounded, stable, fixed position. And Taurus is about work. So this really leans real heavy into the commerce department when you start talking about Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. When Mercury's there, that's your job, that's your work, making money. Uranus, the conscious mind, and Aries, cardinal fire. The moon in Pisces today. The moon will change signs twice this week. This is something I want to talk about because this is where we're going to find the most change on a day-to-day basis. Daily astrology, we call that mundane astrology, and it's heavily based on lunar astrology. For those who like the prognostication of day-to-day, that's a lot to do with the moon, most to do with the moon. So this week, the moon is going to move from a feminine, mutable state to a cardinal, masculine state. It's always a big jump from Pisces to Aries. And then it'll move into Taurus, where it will become fixed and stable. Right? We like everything to be on that fixed cross. I call it solid state because it grounds everything. It's fixed. It's stable. It's stable. We have Jupiter and Neptune. Is Neptune retrograde? I did not check. Oh, don't have my keyboard. Hold on here. I wasn't actually prepared as I thought I was. Alright, we have Neptune and Jupiter, both in Aquarius, both retrograde. Neptune retrograde is an overactive imagination, and Jupiter retrograde is your thinking outside of the box. And both of them are fixed. They're in an air sign, which is upper chakra. This is what we're fixing to look at. Then we're going to have Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which is cardinal Earth. It's feminine. Saturn retrograde. So the gloves are off. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now that the news is not going to talk about. It's censored. Censorship is the biggest problem in the world right now. People think it's the media, but it's not. It's censorship, because if we didn't have the censorship was there, then you can hold the media's feet to the fire and hold them accountable. But right now, you're not allowed to question anything. New rules are coming out for YouTube. Right now, they're going through everybody's older videos, and a lot of channels are going down, not for what they're posting now, but for what they were posting a few years ago that was fine to say back then. So they're censoring them and they're taking them down. And the last time my channel got attacked, that's what happened, is they started going through older videos and they couldn't find anything to get me for. So they started attacking my description box. I got hit with 3 strikes just for a link in my description box. That was a personal attack. That was not YouTube. That was an attack on my channel, looking to take me down any way they could. Of course, that's all that channel was about. That channel was about attacking everything that it disagreed with. Every religion was attacked. It wasn't just me. So I really didn't take it that personally, but that channel did end up getting taken down, because that's all they did. They obviously attacked the wrong person. So a lot of censorship going on. There's so much I would like to say, but I know it's just going to cost me my channel. And right now, I have 2 strikes I can't get rid of. They've been there for a long time, almost 2 years. And you're supposed to hold community guideline strikes for a short amount of time, and they're supposed to disappear. The videos have been gone. They took them down immediately, but I still hold those strikes. And I've tried to appeal them, to no avail. They're just there. They've got me sitting on the edge. So I can take 1 strike and I'm done. The channel's gone. You can't get it back. So I have to tiptoe through the two lips with what I say and what I put up. Right now, they're fine tooth combing everybody. Channels are being taken down for thumbnails. Thumbnails, people. It's getting really aggravating to me. Let me get a drink of water. Saturn retrograde in Capricorn. Capricorn is the house of the government. The government of this age is ruled by Jupiter, right? We're in Jupiter's age. You're just not going to get around that. Jupiter rules all religions. Between Jupiter and Mercury, they rule everything. But that's the world. We're in this world, but we're not of it. So we can learn to manage these energies on a personal level. We can't fight the world. We can't change the world. We have to overcome it, survive it. You're in this world, but you're not of it. You take up your cross. You follow the Lamb daily, which is mundane. Daily. Moon. Mundane. So we got Saturn retrograde. That's the gloves off in the government. Right now, with Mars in Cancer, is like a ticking time bomb. All of that pent up energy, and it's just building. It's like a pressure cooker when he gets there. So when he comes into fixed fire, he should be moving into stability. But because he's moving out of debilitation, when he first comes in, it's like pow. So let's see when that happens. On the 10th. At 4:55 a.m. is when he's going to change signs. Oops. Let me get it exactly for you. It's not exactly 4:55. Oh, come on. What is he doing? Yeah, I'm going the right way. Hold on, I'm going to get us there. There we go. Uh, 7:47 on the 10th. That is a target date to watch for. Before that, anything before this date right here is so dangerous for any type of war, attack, retaliation. You on a personal level, you shouldn't get into any of that. Never throw the first stone when Mars is in Cancer. You will go down. Mars is in debilitation. You don't make the first move when Mars is in debilitation. You can defend yourself, but you can't be aggressive, right? You can't be aggressive. So, if anything does happen between now and the 10th, it's going to be ugly. We're fixing to hit a shift change. I call it shift change, right? Or changing up the guards. But we have been going through this energy where we had all the planet in January. We had all the planets loaded up in cardinal earth and cardinal fire. And there's been a lot of earthquakes and a lot of volcanoes. And that lasts for 6 months. And then that energy shifts. So we're going to start seeing a change. And it's almost like Where there was fire, there'll be rain. Where there was earth, there'll be air. It's going to flip. The energies flip like the seasons do. Like the seasons do. When the northern hemisphere gets winter, the southern hemisphere gets summer. And those energies are going to flip. And we really get the flip on the solstice, but between hemispheres. But as far as personal energies are concerned, this has to do with them all bunching up on one cross. So that energy will continue until they bunch up again on another cross. But what it does is it's seasonal. It flips like the hemispheres do. It's based on magnetic frequencies, if you will. And they shift. And right now, magnetic north has just been like a runaway train. And it's going to hit a train wreck position. The floods are incredible all over the world. Tornadoes in areas that have never been heard of. Nature's fighting back. We are in the birth. We're in the birth. We're in the birth pangs now. For something new to be born. This magnetic shift could very well push us forward in time, but it could also push us back in time, depending on if the earth actually flips its axis or not. It seems to me like solar astrology. What they do is they know the earth is tilted, so they tilt it back that 23 degrees so that it appears from a heavenly perspective that the sun belt, or the golden road, travels perfectly with the equator. Right? Let me bring up a visual for you. We just use a little quick one here. But they tilt the angle. They tilt the angle to make the path of the sun go with the path of the equator. So in their mind, they set the earth back upright. And then they look at the stars. That's what's going on with solar astrology, from my opinion. It's probably my opinion. Well, right now, magnetic is off. It's traveling this way, I think, towards Canada. So it's off more than it's ever been right now, at least in our lifetimes or for recorded history. So you've got all these, it throws off the Gulf Stream and all of the winds that come out of the Arctic. It's like the four angels on the four corners of the earth that hold the four winds, and they're loosed. Magnetics are off. I had a guest last week. I really tried to get him to make a video with me. Everybody seems to be really, I guess call it stage fright or camera shy or whatever. But they want to make one. Oh yeah, we'll do that. And then when we sit down to do it, it's like they freeze. They freeze. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand that. Especially since I'm not putting a camera in your face. We're just talking. But it is what it is. But we went through some material and trying to reconcile a lot of the indigenous material with what we have in alchemy and then in mythology and religion. And I'm beginning to understand what I think. It's hard because of the way the Bible uses terminology, but this thing called abomination that maketh desolate. We know it. They know it as a statue, an image. They make an image to this thing, right? But I think that's this beast and the image of the beast and the abomination that maketh desolate are two different things. Because in native tradition, almost all over the world, in indigenous traditions, the sign of destruction to them is when the sun doesn't come up where it's supposed to. Pole shift. That's the abomination that maketh desolate. That's the end of the world, the end of the age. They all have these markers like Stonehenge or all of these observatories and these sun symbols everywhere. And it watches the sun. It marks the equinoxes and it marks the solstices. And they have to watch that. And on the day that don't show up right, that the sun is not coming up where it's supposed to come up, that's when you're told to head into the mountains. It's done. No turning back. It's over, rover. And that's not just a changing of an age. That's to move from one age to another, from one civilization to another, from one frequency to another. You have to get rid of all the symbols. You have to get rid of all the symbolism of the age, of actually the last aeon. And that's the symbolism of Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. They all got to go. Which Taurus has always been bogus anyway. They built Taurus over the top of the old destructed age of Leo. Let me take us over here. In the age of Leo, this was the age of the fixed cross. It was the age of the Sphinx, the lion man, Aquarius, Leo. And in Cancer, the age of Cancer, at the end of the age of Cancer, we had the flood. Because right when you come into Gemini, the first symbol right here is a freaking rainbow. So we had the flood here and we lost the age of Leo. And so in the age of Gemini, about navigation, they remapped the world. The earth is tilted. The sun no longer follows the equator. It's bent. In the Bible, it says the earth wobbles to and fro. That's what we do. So they remapped everything here. Navigation. Its colors are yellow and for Sagittarius and red. This is India, and at the other end is the Orient, Sagittarius. It's also the Greek. This is Zeus to the Greeks right here. Jupiter. So you have India. They remapped the earth. They dug out most of India, which already had all of the air and earth symbols, right? Red. It's all about air symbols. They already had that. It was already set up. But they went into Africa, black, and said it was fire back then. It was fire before the flood. But now we're remapped with a different sun belt. So they built a mythology. They didn't build any buildings. They built a mythology wrapped around Orion. Today we know it as Freemasonry. But it has nothing to do with Taurus. All the symbolism there has nothing to do with Taurus. None. It all has to do with Leo. The three pyramids are not the belt of Orion. No. That's the star Fomalhaut. It's a 3-star system. And you don't have to move 10,000 years around to make them fit. They fit every day. All you got to do is look at Fomalhaut, zoom in on the triple star system, and those pyramids fit perfectly. The sizes and everything. The Sphinx, again, that's Regulus and Fomalhaut. The man head is Fomalhaut, and the body lion is Regulus. But they just rebuilt this whole thing, Freemasonry. Now, part of what we call Orion is actually in Gemini. They cut up the body of Osiris and strode it all over the world. Osiris is a zodiac. And they found everything but the phallic. So they built a faux phallic. And that's Sirius. Sirius is the faux phallic of Osiris. Which is funny because the phallic symbol itself is actually, which is fire, it's a representation of the fire pillar. And cardinal fire is Mars, Aries, the phallic symbol. But we have our Father in heaven, right? Not below the belt, it's Aries, cardinal fire, the phallic. But you can have an orgasm in your mind just like you do down there. Sexual stimulation. This is, I guess I should throw up a warning here, even though my channel is not for children. You're not supposed to be able to get on my channel unless you're 18. But I'm fixing to talk about sexuality and masturbation. Because, or let's call it self-stimulation. Regardless of whether you're a man or you're a woman, you can stimulate yourself to cause orgasm. We do that above with meditation. With meditation. Contemplation. I'm going to give y'all a link here in probably about a week or so to a lecture. I got to find it on contemplation. It's a kind of meditation. And you can stimulate the pineal gland. You can stimulate the thalamus in the upper chakras so you have an orgasm in your mind instead of an orgasm in your pants. As above, so below. You got to have that spiritual Father in the heaven orgasm. Alright, let me pull us back to today. I'm getting off track here. Did I get everybody? Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter and Neptune retrograde. And Pluto here with Saturn. Let's take it over to the chakras. And it'll make a lot more sense what we've been talking about here. Alright. Let's do a little thing. Mars. Jupiter. Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. Now, we have the Sun is in Gemini. That's Mercury masculine. So we have the Sun. See if I can do this. So the Sun is in upper chakra, and it's masculine. Air. We're going to have air over here. It's red. We have earth over here. We have fire over here. And we have water over here. There's like a line going down the middle here and across here. And it's yellow fire, red air, black earth, and white water. Okay? Feminine on this side. Masculine on this side. You got two moms and two dads. here you have a father and a mother. These are your body. They're fire and water. This is that ever going on battle of fire and ice down here. Of course, the symbol for this down here is fire and water. That's lower chakra symbolism right there. Then you have our Father in heaven over here. Looks like this symbol. And our Mother in earth are over here, upper chakra. And it looks like this. And it's, well, black. Do that again. Black. Y'all got that? So we have the sun and the house and air above. Gemini. It's mutable. That means it'll change. It's mutable. It's unstable. It's unstable. Mercury rules this, and here Mercury is the prince of the power of the air. I call it under the dome. Now for Mercury. Mercury is in Taurus. That's Venus here. So we have Mercury in upper chakra. He is fixed. He is stable. So we got stable communications, stable navigations, fixed, upper chakra. Venus is in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so Venus is here. It's cardinal water. It's the divine feminine. Ruled by the moon. Again, I told you this is Mama's house. So it's in a power center. The sun and the moon are like an electrical outlet. And they either plug into these two below or they plug into these above. Okay? So it's not, in a way, it's considered lower chakra because its symbolism is this, fire and water. Even though it's middle. Especially in this age, we're plugged in to water. Pisces. Alright. Let's go to the moon. Is in Pisces. That's Jupiter right here. Feminine. And then the moon is going to move to this week, in 2 days. The moon's going to move into Aries over here. And then 2 more days, the moon's going to move into Taurus over here. So we're going to go from feminine to masculine, back to feminine grounded. Do you see this? I need to pause here and deal with Kelly, and we'll pick up with Mars. And now to Mars is in Cancer with Venus here. So he's plugged into lower chakra as well, or a power center, but he's debilitated there. I'm not sure what the sign for debilitation is. I'm just going to make it unhappy face. These are, again, your emotions and your actions with your heart. They're working in tandem. And they're in Mama's house. They're about home and family right now. And then we have Jupiter is in Aquarius. That's up here. So we have Jupiter retrograde. Means he's spinning backwards, but he's thinking outside of the box. And we also have Neptune here. Upper chakra. Our Father in heaven up here. Saturn. Then we have Saturn opposite in Saturn's house. Retrograde. With Pluto. The subconscious mind. So we have our desires our belief system, our imagination, our subconscious, and our higher self are all in heaven on earth up here. But Saturn and Jupiter both retrograde. Jupiter retrograde, think outside of the box, that can be helpful. But Saturn retrograde in his own house of government, the gloves are off. When Mars comes out of Cancer, it's going to get ugly. And if it gets ugly before Mars comes out of Cancer, that's almost like one of those woes in the Bible where it says, may your flight be not on the winter or in the Sabbath, or there'll be never such destruction. One of those kind of woes. All right, that brings us to Uranus is in Aries. Lowest chakra, masculine. So we've got Uranus in Aries, which is the purification. You're supposed to purify your mind, but he's in the lower chakra, right? We've done Neptune and Pluto. That's everybody. That's everybody. It looks messy, don't it? Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. Let's take all of that stuff away and just put just the planets here. We'll take one more look. All right. The Sun is in Gemini. Sun. Mercury is in Taurus. Venus and Mars are in Cancer. The Moon is in Pisces. Jupiter and Neptune are in Aquarius. Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn. Who am I missing? Uranus and Aries. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the masculine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the feminine. So this week has more of a feminine aspect than a masculine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the upper chakras and 4 in the lower chakras. So we're more spiritually based than materialistically based this week. Now the moon's going to move. It's going to go over here, which will make it 5 and 5, masculine and feminine. It'll balance out the masculine and feminine when it moves into Aries. But 2 days later, when it moves back into Taurus, it'll become more stable, but we'll get more of that feminine aspect. And you know, the moon is reflection, right? It reflects everything back to you. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of you. It's what you emanate. It's what you show people. What else can we learn from this today? I think it helps a lot, especially when you understand your cross, your natal chart, and you know where your things are on your chart. You need to have 2 of these guys side by side. One with yours on it, and then the daily. This is, or the weekly. I'm going to call this the weekly. And even though it's going to be the moon that moves the most around here, I'm going to keep up with where the chakras are. So you know what you're dealing with. As far as our conscious mind, our heart, our actions, and our reflections, they're all in materialism and lower chakra. That's where they're at. And then the rest are in a more spiritual based frequency. They're up there. They're uplifting. But these are going to pull you down. These are going to push you up. Does that make sense to any of you? I really want to get this across because I've been looking for a long time. How do we translate the stars to ourselves? And I found my cross. And then you find the planets. And then you find they're related to your chakras. But to see where the chakras are, where yours are, and then where the planets are today. And you can see, you can use the circle, the cross, the trines, the squares, to know how to balance that energy. Okay? All right, I think that should wrap it up for this week in episode 1 of Chakra Vision for the first week of July 2021. Wow. Time just flies, don't it? I can't believe it's 2021 already. And this year should have been a lot more explosive than it has been. I guess it has been explosive. We're just not being told about it. The weather and the elements are off the charts everywhere. So many countries are flooded right now. Earthquakes, volcanoes going off that they didn't think some are going off they didn't ever think would go off again. And again, that energy is flipping from winter to summer and summer to winter. So where there were fires, there will be floods. And where there were earthquakes, there'll be tornadoes. And everything's upside down, people. All right, y'all know what to do. Go bank your karma. And if this information helps you, won't you consider making a donation to this channel or become a sponsor? That would be great. I love you all. Happy 4th of July to everybody coming up in America this week. Y'all be careful. Be safe. Be safe. Mars is debilitated. Be careful of accidents. Mars is debilitated in water. And Mars rules fire and water. So be careful with those fireworks this week, people. I actually got hurt really bad as a kid during fireworks. We were all out in the street throwing firecrackers at each other. And I had really long hair. And somebody lit a long string of firecrackers, the whole row, like 100 pack. And they threw them. They lit them and threw them. And it went through the air and it got caught up in my hair and just spun around. And all those firecrackers started going off and it blew that part of my hair off. It burnt it. And my entire neck and half of my face was covered with sulfur burns. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. So do be careful, especially with Mars debilitated in water right now. And Saturn retrograde. Just pay attention to your surroundings. That's what you do. Stay with your family and your friends and pay attention to your surroundings. But really do. Stay out of fear. Stay out of fear down here. Try to stay in the upper chakras as much as you possibly can. Especially in these days. You know, every time a good angel showed up to give a message in the Bible, the first thing they would tell you is to don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because it throws you down here. It throws you down here. All right, people. Love you all.